All right, we have our image. I'm going to Command 0 to zoom back out so we can see the whole thing. Maybe the letter F to get rid of that tab, so we're working full screen. Space bar to get the hand tool temporarily to move this. And we talked about, wouldn't it be nice to have more room up at the top of this image? Well, here's a trick. We're going to undo. Command Z in Photoshop steps back one step. Command Z a second time steps forward. It's a weird program. So if you want to step backward multiple times, you have to hold down Option and Command and then Z and to move backwards. Now I want more room at the top of this image. How am I going to do that? Photoshop has, for images like this with a simple, we've got no extreme detail. If this tree were pushing through the top of the image, we wouldn't be able to do this. So this is a trick that you can only use in certain circumstances. I want to grow the top of this image so I have about this much more room. And the only way to do that and accommodate everything is to increase the size of the canvas. Now Photoshop, we've talked about image size to change the size of the image, but here's what, in Illustrator it's the artboard, in Photoshop it's the canvas. So Option Command C, I use this all the time. So if I hit Escape, Option Command C pulls that dialog box up, and it typically opens right in front of what you're trying to work with. You move it aside. So we want to grow this, and our height is 3744. Now, how do we know how many pixels to add? Well, it's kind of trial and error, or I could hit Command R. Well, we're in the middle of a dialog box. Of course, Command R is not going to work. And we could look and see. And if this pops up and it's inches by any reason, you right-click on it and you change it to what you need. If you need inches, change it to inches. We're on pixels. So this is 500 pixels right here. And that's about how much I'd like to add. So let's try 500 pixels. Hit Command R to get rid of that. Pull this over. Option Command C for canvas size. 37. 7 plus 5 is 12, so we got 42. But, got to pay attention. This is growing it from the center, which means we're going to add to the bottom and the top. I don't want to add to the bottom. I want to add to the top of this image. So we move. Where are we resizing this from? Start at the bottom. And if we were trying to increase on the side of this, we'd be over here. Or if it was from this corner, we want some here and here. You got to figure out where you want to grow your image from. In this case, because we're only affecting the height, any one of these three selections would work. And we suddenly get this little white band on top. Now that might be a little too extreme. That might be too much room, but that's okay because we're going to crop in the next video. But how do we add to this? Now I tell you guys never work on the background layer, but here we're doing something permanent and it's just going to happen like I suddenly got the rectangular marquee by hitting the letter M. If I hover over this, you can see the shortcut is M, and then Command 0 to pull this up. Hit Tab to temporarily get rid. Tab makes everything disappear, all your panels. And then I'm going to start outside. I'm not going to try to hit this corner. Start above and to the right, pull over, and then pull down until I get that top pixel or so. Now, with that selected, I'm going to hold down. It's Edit Fill, but the shortcut is Shift Delete, the backspace key. And the Fill dialog box opens with the content set to whatever we used last. And here I made a dodge and burn layer. But we have content aware. Now, this is one of those things where sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see what happens. Command D to deselect. I see no line. Do you see a line? Let's zoom in and look. This is black magic by Photoshop. The engineers at Photoshop. Just completely amazing. Command 0, we have grown our canvas and added extra pixels so that when we do crop, this time when we get the crop tool, letter C, we can click to get our rule of thirds. Now we can decide where our crop's going to be. Do we really need all of that? Whoops. Do we really need all of that up there? We got our 13 by 9 inch crop. How much room do we really need at the top? And yes, we have ruined our horizon line we've moved it up. I could push this up, but this is okay. Remember I told you rule of thirds is a guideline, not a rule. It's kind of like the Pirates Code. And this horizon line is a little crooked. But here we go, and Command 0. Now, we did not upsample as far. We have more room for our title, and we're ready to rock this. Okay, content-aware fill. Hit the letter V to get rid of the crop tool and move to the move tool. We have room for our text, and our second text here, we got some black and white stuff here. How might we eliminate some of these distracting elements when our text is going to lay here? Could there be more content-aware magic waiting for you at the other end of the next video?